What to Play presents the 25 worst Xbox 360 games of all time. This ranking is based on a 1 to 10 scoring system that aggregates critic and gamer reviews into a unique score called the Play Score. As much as new reviews show up and are added, the Play Score changes. Opening at number 25 is XMen Destiny. A button masher that only makes you feel good after a few missions. And that's all there is to it, really. The graphics is uninspired, simplistic AI, combat is very shallow, and on top of that, the choices you make don't really matter to the game at all. XMen Destiny has a play score of 5.57. 24th place is Orc Attack Flatulent Rebellion. If you take it by face value, it's alright. But let's talk about how a game about farting fails to capitalize on all the fart jokes. I mean, come on guys, they're everywhere on the web. Very shallow, repetitive combat, frame rate drops on multiplayer, and awful, god-awful fixed camera angles. A play score of 5.5. At number 23 is Sacred 3. This is a frantic arcade hack and slash. It strays away from its Diablo roots into new territories of failure. Attractive, but the level design is linear and dull. Its painfully simplistic skills and weapon system and unbalanced difficulty and a far-off breakaway from what the franchise used to be makes it have a play score of a 5.5. 22nd is Shell Shock 2 Blood Trails. This is a poor attempt at a Vietnam War zombie thriller, something like that. Even with a few decent scares, the overall experience just wasn't able to cut it. Pretty dumb human AI and apeshit zombies, and the gory sequences are actually pretty good, but the visuals is really bad for a 360 game. A play score of 5.45. Ranked 21st is Turning Point Fall of Liberty. It's a shame that the gameplay didn't live up to the game's good ideas. Few great set pieces, but it fails on the overall story progression. Good music, bad voice acting. Frame rate drops are noticeable on major shootouts, and a handful of annoying bugs are present. It has a play score of 5.41. 20th place is Steel Battalion Heavy Armor. This is a Kinect game set in alternate World War II with giant robots. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Too bad the idea of Kinect and controller working together didn't go well. I mean, look at that, that's awful. Poorly designed levels and very few battlefield intel available. Steel Battalion Heavy Armor has a play score of 5.35. Number 19 is Fireburst. This combat racing game isn't really all that bad. In fact, it can be pretty exciting when played with friends. Okay, so the problems are unremarkable graphics, weird physics, it's lacking in single-player content, it has annoying in-game characters, and it has a barren, unreliable online play that wasn't fixed even after a few patches. Fireburst has a play score of 5.34. Ranked 18th is Scourge Outbreak. This is a shooter that you'll never want to play again after the first mission. Period. If you bought this game, then maybe you were enticed by the premise of a story-driven 4-player co-op. And that's it. Painfully generic-looking characters, bad aiming, a cliché story, and the usual bugs. A play score of 5.27. 17th place is Dark, a stealth action game with a vampire as its main protagonist. Sounds cool? Hell yeah! Unfortunately, it is downright awful. The story is dull, dialogue is laughably awkward, boring repetitive gameplay, and one of the dumbest enemy AI in the stealth gaming world. Seriously, Dark receives a play score of 5.26. Number 16 is Mindjack. Great concept, bad execution. A third-person shooter with a mind hack to control weakened enemies and civilians. It delivered on the premise, Unfortunately, it's shipped with tons of bugs, a boss fight where you battle minions and not the boss. Like, what the hell? Poor voice acting, and a useless multiplayer. A play score of 5.25. 15th place is Damnation. This is a steampunk western game that showed a lot of promise. It has fun ledge-grabbing acrobatics, but the rest of it is just so bad. Unstable aiming system, super easy enemy AI, almost non-existent dialogue and voice acting, ugly, jagged graphic textures, and a stupid left stick-click reload feature. Damnation gets a play score of 5.08. Ranked 14th place is the History Channel Battle for the Pacific. This is a classic lesson in making games. Facts alone don't make good games. You also need solid game mechanics. Okay, it doesn't look that bad, but AI bugs, choppy frame rates, and a game that only lasts 2 hours. It has a play score of 5.05. 13th place is Star Trek the video game. Who would have guessed? A video game adaptation of a movie that's garbage? You know you don't have to. This one is. The voice acting by the original cast is terrific. The rest of it is not. It has a weak story, game-breaking bugs, dull shooting mechanics, and those terrible facial expressions. Oh my gosh, somebody help that guy. A play score of 5.01. At 12th place is Quantum Theory. This is a Gears of War ripoff. The idea, the costumes, and the characters, okay, let me just say at first got me a little intrigued, but because it was too similar to the Gears of War series, it entirely lost its appeal. Plus the fact that it's ugly, it has repetitive level design, it has boring weapons, and a really annoying insta-kill portion. It gains a play score of a solid 5. Ranked 11th is Rogue Warrior. This is a Rambo-style video game, voiced by none other than Mickey Rourke. The profanity is so hilarious that it makes the game remotely playable. But then again, useless stealth mechanic, as enemies meant for stealth kills are already facing their backs against you. Really? Plus the game can be finished in 2 hours, or even less. Rogue Warrior has a play score of a 4.94. 10th place is Fast and Furious Showdown. And here we are again, another movie tie-in that's not just a disgusting racing game, but is also wasted potential of the source material. Borderline mediocre graphics, terrible car handling in a racing game, random object collision, bad physics engine, and glitches everywhere. Fast and Furious Showdown has a play score of a 4.85. At number 9 is Raven Squad Operation Hidden Dagger, a unique mix between first-person shooting and real-time strategy. Unique in a sense that it butchered the genre, the first and last of its kind. It's just so easy, super easy. You shoot unresponsive enemies, stupid AI, cringy voice acting, and a very linear gameplay. A play score of 4.83. 8th place is Leisure Suit Larry Box Office Bust. Look at it. Look at the most horrid Larry game ever created. By combining 3D design and cartoon style, the result is awful character models that look so disproportionate. That's lots of talking and lots of bad humor. It's a far-fetched way of doing things, and Larry fans will be extremely disappointed. And it has a recurring frame rate issue. Leisure Suit Larry Box Office Bust has a play score of a 4.79. 7th place is Amy. This is a survival horror game based off a good idea. And as we all know by now, good ideas are never enough. It has to be paired with excellent gameplay and a really good plot. These are aspects where Amy spectacularly failed. With awkward controls, frustrating combat, really one of the worst in video gaming, and pathetic constant frame and animation stutters. It has a play score of a 4.65. Sorry, Amy. Ranked 6th place is Rock Revolution. This is a failed attempt to competing with great titles like Rock Band and Guitar Hero. To be fair, if it came out like 3 years earlier, it would have had a chance. But then again, there's nothing revolutionary about Rock Revolution. Shallow career mode, a slightly amusing song creation, and badly recorded cover songs. Rock Revolution has a play score of a 4.47. At number 5 is Recoil Liberator, a generic first-person shooter with no story and no campaign. You just shoot each other without any clue why. Lots of guns to choose from, but all options except for the RPG and shotgun has shitty accuracy. Characters that look like those from the later PS2 games, okay, that's a bust, and a depressing landscape made from the shades of brown and gray, how very colorful and vibrant. Recoil Liberator has a play score of a 4.43. Fourth place is Way of the Dog. An example of a good game turned bad. The first few minutes are actually pretty fun, but as you go deeper and further into your game, you start to notice a lot of flaws. Then doubt starts to creep in and everything just comes crashing down. Difficult controls, weak plot, and a bizarre time-traveling mechanic. Way of the Dog has a play score of a 4.23. Third worst is Rambo the video game. You were expecting this, yes you were. The game that ruined one of the best action movie heroes of all time. It also destroyed our hopes and dreams of a decent Rambo video game. Discussing character models, especially John Rambo's, an outdated, badly designed rail shooter gameplay, enemy AIs that's even worse, repeating voiceovers, and annoying QuickTime events. It's a disappointment with a play score of 3.62. Second is Ride to Hell Retribution. Nope, no Retribution here, sir. One of the most bug-ridden games on the Xbox 360 console. This sorry excuse of an action open-world game is laughable at best. It even went viral for being so dreadful. Bad writing, controls, and graphics, a confused attempt at making the game wholesome and explicit at the same time, and tons of game-breaking bugs. Ride to Hell Retribution has a play score of a 3.55. Stay tuned for the runners-up right after we reveal the number 1. And the worst Xbox 360 game of all time is Double Dragon 2: Wander of the Dragons. Even the title sounds stupid, it's such a mistranslation. I mean, who in their right mind would even think of buying it? The answer? Those who just want to get frustrated for fun. Sadists. Graphics and combat are horrible, it's riddled with glitches, awkward control mapping, and enemies can attack and do damage during cutscenes. It's an unfinished piece of solid human intestinal termination. It's the worst with a play score of 3.49. And here are the runners-up. bad game you think should be on the list? Leave a comment below and we'll tell you its play score. Want to know the play score of newly released video games on PC, console, and mobile? Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and Instagram.